Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do something I've been meaning to do for a little while now, and we are going to compare the Friedman and the PRS. Now this one here is the JJ Jr, which is Jerry Cantrell's signature mini head that came out not too long ago, last 2 years I believe. And we're going to compare that to the Paul Reed Smith MT15, which is Mark Tremonti's signature head. And what we're going to do is we're going to check out the clean channels, and we're going to check out the dirty channels with medium, low, and high gain. And we'll talk about the mechanical differences here. The clean channel on the Friedman is one knob, and it's just a clean volume. It has 3 position switch here for brightness, and we're going to use my preferred settings, which is the bright switch all the way to the left. And I believe the presence knob also affects the clean channel. We're going to leave the presence alone at noon on both amps. They're both at noon. I like them there the best. Yeah, we're going to check that out with the PRS clean channel, which has a 3-band EQ and a pole boost on the treble knob, which I leave in all the time. I never really pull it out because I just like it better with it in. We're going to compare that, and we're going to go to the dirty channel, which is a 3-band EQ with a presence. I believe in the same for the dirty channel and the PRS, 3-band EQ and the presence. And like I said, the presence on both amps are at noon. And we're going to start with the gain at 9, 12, and then 3. Same on that one. And then at the end, we're going to do some chugging. And I'm going to leave the gain at noon for the chugging here. And I'm going to try and match the amount of gain with the Friedman, which you got to crank it up a little more to get higher gain than you do on the PRS, because this has a lot of gain out the get-go. So there'll be roughly the same amount of gains with this knobs at higher or positions, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's put that right out there. But we're going to do all that, and here's some differences, and then at the end we will talk about it, and we'll get you out of here. Hopefully you'll take what you want away from the video, and yeah. All right, let's get to it. Alright, after listening to the clips A-B together, you can clearly tell that the PRS has a lot more warmth to it on the clean channel than the Friedman does, thanks to the PRS's 3-band EQ, and the Friedman only has the volume control and the 3-position brightness switch. Now, if you move the brightness switch all the way to the right, it would add warmth to it, so it could probably sound similar to the PRS. As far as the dirty channel goes, the PRS has a lot more gain, almost has more gain at 9 o'clock than the Friedman does at full max. And say the PRS is a lot more tighter and has a lot of punch to it versus the Friedman is kind of loose and mushy and grungy, which makes a lot of sense since that is Alice in Chains frontman Jerry Cantrell's signature head. He's the grunge god, and his tone is legendary, as it should be. And the PRS, obviously Mark Tremonti's amp, and he's the modern rock and metal riff master, so obviously it's going to have punchiness and it's going to be tight. And yeah, so you got kind of both ends of the spectrum as far as rock and metal tones go. The Friedman kind of has a martially sound to it, so you could also do some classic rock stuff with it easily. I had it in JBE mode, which is more gain than the regular mode. So if you put it in regular mode, it definitely has a martial growl to it, so you could easily do stuff like AC/DC and whatnot with it. As far as the chugging goes at the end, since the PRS is tighter and has more punch, I think the chugging sounds a lot better on it. Not that it sounds bad with the Friedman setting, it's just I prefer tighter and more punchy sound when it comes to chugs. Anyway, if you did like the video and found it interesting and you're trying to decide between the two, I would say it just depends on what you play personally or like more. I like both ends of the spectrum. I like some grunge and classic rock stuff, and I like modern rock, hard rock and metal, so it just makes sense that I ended up getting both amps, because back in the day I was trying to decide between the two, and ended up getting the PRS first, and a couple years later ended up saving up enough money to buy the Friedman because it does have a hefty price tag on it. That being said, subscribe to the channel for more to come later. Check out Born to Rock, Forced to Work on Instagram. Give this stuff a like, give it a share, whatever you want to do. And until next time, rock on.